Pickleball. Are you thinking of playing it or are you already playing it? Welcome to Talking with Docs. I'm Dr. Paul Zalzal.
I'm Dr. Brad Ween. What are we talking about today?
Pickleball. Did you play pickleball?
I've played twice.
That's it?
Yeah.
You like it?
It's okay.
I love it. It's kind of a cross between ping pong, tennis, and a little bit of badminton. I'm not sure I see the badminton end of it, but mostly ping pong and tennis.
Yeah.
If ping pong and tennis got together at a bar one night, pickleball.
And then today we're going to be talking about what? Injuries related to pickleball.
We're going to talk about 3 of the major types of injuries you can get playing pickleball, and we came up with 10 things you should do if you're new to pickleball or you're thinking of taking it up.
To reduce your chance of having trouble or getting an injury or developing issues with pickleball.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So
pickleball hit the news recently.
Yeah, which is weird because it's not super new.
No.
It's like
not.
old. It's 59 years old. So it was developed or invented in 1965 by this guy, Joel Pritchard,
right?
A congressman from Washington State. Him and a buddy of his who's a businessman, Bill Bell, were out golfing.
Yeah.
And they returned home from golfing and they found both of their families at the Pritchard home bored, doing nothing. So
happens to me all the time with my family.
Right. And you're like, we got to find a way to entertain our families and these kids, and something that includes everybody.
When my family's bored, we just put a movie on. We don't invent a sport.
We don't invent a sport.
But he's really raised the bar on entertaining your family.
Right. So what they did is they're looking around for some rackets that they're going to play badminton. Then they couldn't find them, so they found ping pong paddles. And then they thought, well, this ball doesn't really work, so then they used a wiffle ball. And originally they were using like a tennis height of a net, but then it went down to like a badminton height.
Yeah.
And then pickleball was developed. Now, do you know where the name came from for pickleball?
No, I don't know where the name.
So it's a little bit controversial, but after reading a bunch of different articles, it seems that it is not related to the name of the family dog. The dog actually came 2 years after pickleball was invented, because they're like, oh, it's because of the dog. No. Pickles was the dog, but it was named after because it always chased the ball, apparently.
Right.
But what did happen is that Joel Pritchard's wife thought it was interesting how a bunch of different sports were pulled together. And just like in rowing, there's something called the pickle boats when you row crew. The pickle boat takes rowers from other boats that aren't used, and they kind of all put them all in one boat, and that's called the pickle boat. Feel like the last choices.
So his wife called it pickleball.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
I know.
And one of the sad things about pickleball, I think it's the last sport that Matthew Perry played before he died.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. But not that it was related to pickleball.
Right.
But we do have 10 things you should do and 3 types of injuries. Let's talk about the injuries first, okay?
Sure.
So we know the 10 things come into context of what you can do.
What kind of injuries do people get?
Okay, so I categorized it into 3 main things.
Yep.
1, you can have an overuse type injury.
Right.
Okay, so that's like a tennis elbow we've talked about, lateral epicondylitis. We have a video about that.
Yeah.
Maybe now it's kind of being referred to as pickle elbow as well. Pickle elbow. That's pain on the outside of your elbow,
right.
Lateral epicondyle, like that. The tendons that insert there get inflamed, gives you lateral epicondylitis. And of course, you can get any other sort of overuse, a rotator cuff overuse type injury.
Yeah. Knee strain, Achilles tendonitis.
Right. You can get Achilles tendonitis, things like that. So those are the overuse things. And then the next thing, an exacerbation of an underlying condition.
Pre-existing condition.
Okay, so you've got some arthritis in your knee, or you've got some arthritis in your hip, or your shoulder, and it's been behaving all this time, but then you start playing pickleball and it gets exacerbated, and now it hurts for a while after.
It's because you're having so much fun and you're just maybe doing too much.
Yeah, you don't feel it, and you go, and then the next day you're like, oh man, I can't walk.
Yeah.
So you've got the overuse, the exacerbation, and then the third one is the
acute injuries.
Well, there's nothing cute about these.
There's nothing cute about them. The injuries that happen as a specific incident on the court.
Yeah.
So like a fall.
Yeah.
So that could be a fracture where you break your ankle or break your wrist or hurt your back, twist your knee.
Yeah. So
lots of different things. Even your eye. I read some anecdotal reports of retinal injuries where the ball gets in the eye. I know. A wiffle ball's eye. It doesn't seem to be going slowly, but yes, there have been retinal injuries described.
Yeah, that's a nasty.
Because people don't routinely wear goggles, not like racquetball or squash yet.
Your opponent is a little bit too aggressive if you're getting an eye injury.
Agreed.
So yeah, that's sprains, strains,
and
fractures. So those are the types of injuries: overuse, exacerbation, or acute. But there's nothing cute about it.
No.
So let's come up with 10 things that we can recommend that might help you avoid getting one of these injuries.
Okay, so start at the beginning. So because pickleball is a sport that was designed for everybody, right? All genders, all ages, all levels of activity, all levels of fitness. everyone can play it. But what you should consider is that if you're sedentary, you normally don't play a lot of sports or exercise regularly, maybe you should talk to your doctor just to make sure, hey, I'm going to start playing pickleball. Is that okay?
I think it's a great idea because
Okay.
you may have an underlying condition or something that where your doctor might say, oh no, wait, before you do this, before you do that, we're not going to stop you from playing, but consider doing it like this.
I think same would go for almost any type of
Yeah.
moderate physical activity.
Any new kind of sport
Yeah.
that you're going to take up if you are elderly or you have been sedentary for a long time. And we often call those people weekend warriors.
Weekend
right?
warriors.
Weekend warriors, where you just do nothing all week, then all of a sudden you're going to jump out and go full tilt on the
Okay.
pickleball. So that's
number
one.
Number 2.
Train up a little.
Okay.
Okay. It's kind of like sport-specific training, you could say.
Okay.
Almost. If your cardio level of function is not that great, do some cardio first. Build up to it before you get out on the pickleball court. That would be my second sort of recommendation.
Okay, number 3 is go slow and gradually increase the volume of pickleball that you play, or even the pace. So maybe don't start by playing the local champion.
No.
You know, start with someone that is an appropriate level of skill for you, as well as don't play for 3 hours. Maybe play for half an hour, or 45 minutes, or 20 minutes, or whatever your tolerance is. But don't spend the whole day playing tons of games to start.
That's a great one. Ease into it.
Okay.
And then the next thing is before you start, like immediately before you start, you want to do some kind of dynamic stretching.
Okay.
We used to recommend just sitting there, static stretches, you know, bending down, touching your toes, that kind of stuff. But now we've realized that a dynamic stretching program prepares you better to play the sport.
This is based on a lot of research and a lot of different sports. They're
Yeah.
recognizing what we used to do is maybe not right.
Yeah, you can see it if you watch the kids before they go out on the soccer pitch or football pitch. They're doing a dynamic stretch. They're
Right.
going out and doing dynamic stretch.
And even track athletes, same thing. Those really ballistic movements, the running and jumping.
Yeah, so it's some sort of dynamic stretching before you do it.
Okay, number 5, hydrate. Both before, after, and even during. A lot of times this is played outside.
Yes.
People go to Florida because the weather's still good there and you're hot, you're in the sun, maybe it's humid. So make sure you don't get dehydrated.
Yeah, you're sweating, and you're sweating to cool your body down. So, and actually, before you even start playing, you want to be sweating just a little bit with your dynamic stretch,
Yeah.
and then you're going to sweat some more when you play. So for sure, you're going to have to hydrate. Pre-hydrate, hydrate during, hydrate after.
Okay.
And then when you're done, stretch again.
Okay, so that's number 6.
Yeah, another type of stretch. This one you can do more of a static stretch after
Okay.
to prevent things from seizing up later, but some kind of stretch after.
Okay, number 7 is wear appropriate footwear. So don't go from the pool to the pickleball court in bare feet. Definitely don't wear the flip-flops or the Croc-style shoes. Wear something that has some good support as well as some good traction because those courts can get a little bit slippery. Sometimes there can be sand or gravel on them, so be careful and wear appropriate footwear.
Yeah, don't wear sandals, don't wear flip-flops.
Don't wear flip-flops.
Pickleball's not a flip-flop sport.
There's no flip-flops for
There's
it.
no role for the flip-flop.
Okay.
It's in the name.
Okay.
The next one
Number
is,
8.
Number 8 is you want to, and this is optional, okay, but
Yeah.
more and more sporting facilities have defibrillators available, automatic defibrillators available, so that in a horrific event that you should have a problem with your heart, there is a defibrillator around.
Right, we even have one in our office
We have
because
one in our office.
spontaneous things can happen, and
Yeah.
thankfully, if you do have an aberrant rhythm that potentially is fatal, shocking it is one of the very few things that you can do to save someone's life
Yeah.
potentially.
Oh, and around here, we see them in a lot of the hockey rinks.
Yep.
Where they have the defibrillators. And so in hand with that, make sure someone, consider people around and knowing yourself, CPR, some form of CPR.
Okay. Now, have you ever had CPR?
CPR done to me?
Yeah.
Over my dead body. No, CPR is something that you should know,
Yes.
especially if you're playing sports in and around an elderly population.
Yep.
And if the people around you know CPR as well,
Right.
that can be literally life-saving as well.
Okay, number 9 is learn how to play properly. So either from someone who plays the game or even from a formal instructor, maybe consider getting a lesson, a group lesson, some type of class, just to avoid some of the common mistakes, because bad form in lots of different sports and other things like weightlifting or golf or whatever can lead to a very specific set of injuries. So try to get in front of these, learn how to play properly. It'll make you a better partner too.
Okay, I like that one.
Yeah.
And number 10, don't play if you're injured. Okay, if you've had some kind of overuse injury or something's going on, you're not feeling 100%, don't go out and play. Same as if you're fatigued, don't
Yes.
go out and play, because that's when, if you have a little bit of an injury, you're going to make it worse.
Yep.
If you're fatigued, you're going to get injured.
I would even add one more. If you get injured while you're playing, don't necessarily play through it.
Yeah.
If it really, really hurts, you can't weight bear on your ankle or something like that,
Yeah.
consider maybe shutting her down for the day and getting properly assessed.
Yeah, aim to win the Pickleball Cup next year.
That's right.
Okay, so that's it. We gave you 3 things,
Yep.
3 types of injuries. That's the overuse, the exacerbation of an underlying thing, or an acute injury.
Yep.
And we've given you 10 things you can do. You don't have to do all 10 of these things. Do a handful of these things if you want, but consider them before you jump into playing pickleball.
Now you know all about pickleball, even where the name came from when it was invented. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends who play pickleball.
Enjoy pickleball. I love it, actually. And remember, you are in charge of your own health.
We'll see you next time.